$5 cocktails, and some tasty food specials Monday through Friday from 4 to 9. Crazy Horse 3 loves locals, and locals love the Crazy Horse 3. So bring a friend and enjoy an afternoon with cocktails, good food, and beautiful women. Crazy Horse 3 on Russell, just steps away from the new Allegiant Stadium.
Hi, Chef Jet Tila here to introduce the Dragon Tiger Noodle Company to Las Vegas. I've traveled the world in search of the best noodles, like our house-made egg noodles in Chinese bone broth with bok choy and grilled chicken. Dragon Tiger Noodle Company. My noodles, your way.
It's time for ESPN Las Vegas legal insider Justin Watkins to lay down the law. Only on Cofield and Company.
Watkins is here. He's in the Battleborn Broadcast Center. Cofield, Ari, Finley, Toyota Studios. So we started to talk last week, Justin, about the parking situation, the new parking plan with the Raiders. And I gave it a B or a B plus. I don't love the prices, but I thought they did a good job of eliminating the satellite lots that were really far away. They bought some different pieces of property around that Polaris and Valley View and Hacienda and Russell area, Wynn, Diablo. You're going to learn the names of these streets. One thing I did notice when I drove around, I thought some of the lots that were $40 and $50 really not too bad in terms of a walk. There, when I mapped them, and they were 0.6 of a mile. One thing I was curious about, though, there's a ton of commercial businesses and real estate down there and warehouses. Is it illegal for them to set up and go, hey, you can park here, $30?
I'm not aware of any restriction in any city ordinance that would prevent them from charging for parking there. But, I wouldn't doubt the Raiders lobby for trying to make that an issue. But, you see that in most major cities, right? That private lots then on game days turn into pay for parking here. So I would expect you're going to see quite a bit of that. I just think from a logistics standpoint, it's going to be half the season, I think, before everybody starts to figure out exactly, where their spot is, how they're parking, what it looks like, and, figures out all these lots, all these streets, which private company or private businesses are offering parking and what they pay for, and right. Who's got a buddy who works where, and oh yeah, I know them, so I got a parking spot. It's going to take a while. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a real mess. I really do.
How strong do you think the strip club lobby is? Because you got two down there, and I know they're banking on bringing people in and charging them, and then giving them a big VIP package.
Yeah, of course. I think that's going to work out. Especially because I think you're right. There's going to be a package that they sell as part of the parking, right? And so I think that they're very likely to benefit from this situation, and I think that they'll come up with the plans. Like I said, there's no ordinance I'm aware of that says that people can't charge for parking on their own private commercial property under any circumstances. If they try to put something forward, I think you'll hear a lot of people cry out about that. So I don't expect any sort of laws to change. So I think everybody's going to be able to do that. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see how everybody adjusts for football games specifically. We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not going to the first game.
And the president of the Raiders, Mark Bedane, said it's going to take a little while to figure things out. I did notice they also have 4 different areas now labeled as rideshare drop-off. I think that's going to be another work in progress. There will be a north rideshare drop-off. That might be the biggest one, the main one. That's a little bit south of Valley View and Tropicana. There's a south location, which is like right there at the stadium. It's about 0.3 of a mile. If you look south on Polaris and you got that group of hotels, it's right behind one of the hotels. So there's going to be rideshare there. That's going to be a short walk. And then there's a couple of supposedly east rideshare drop-offs at Luxor and Mandalay. So that's one of the biggest things going, because there are going to be people out there who are like, hey, $75 on average is just too much to park. $90 and $100 for the spots adjacent to the stadium and right across Polaris, that's too much for me. So the rideshare has to be buttoned up, like you said, at least part way into the season. And I think they're starting to move towards a solid plan.
Yeah, well, that's assuming that, our rideshare opportunities really drastically improve between now and the beginning of the season. Because if you think on game day, you're going to be able to get a rideshare down there for under $75 right now, good luck. I mean, I don't see that happening. I do think that's going to be one of the challenges where they've sort of designated that South rideshare drop off is that the group of like the motels and hotels, non-casino gaming properties right there. They have a lot of parking right there. They're going to incur quite the expense, I think, in trying to enforce restrictions on parking and having people just coming in and parking their spots. It's going to be an increased cost to them, I think. And now I'm sure they're happy to do it because I'm sure they're going to get increased, lower vacancy rates because of their proximity to the stadium. But I imagine that's going to be a little bit of a nightmare for them.
Sure. 3-day
it's not closed in.
3-day package, $199 a night at Hotel Galaxy, minimum 3-night stay. And they're also going to slap on resort fees. So if you know what the Hotel Galaxy is, shout out to them, then you understand why that's kind of funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right there on Dean Martin. So I'll leave it at that. We're getting more news on Elon Musk and this Boring Company. So they've got their loop done right around the convention center, about 0.8 of a mile. The project's pretty interesting. They did a test, and they were able to move about 4,500 people an hour. I didn't realize it actually is Teslas that hold just 3 and 4 people. This is interesting. I don't know if they have a high-volume vehicle ready to go. It doesn't sound like it. What do you think about this system, this idea in general as a people mover that can really help us?
Reserving judgment. I haven't experienced it. I like the idea that we're trying to do something a little bit different and a little bit more cutting edge, and that the tunnel system that we're creating can be adaptable to different technologies as they develop. I like that. If we went with a traditional subway, I think that that's more rigid in what you have to do, and what it's going to look like in the future is going to be very similar to what it looks like today. As it doesn't have to be a Tesla, right? As electric, autonomous vehicles start developing that could fit within those boundaries, they could use those. So I kind of like the idea that the boring tunnels can adapt with technologies as they develop, especially in the autonomous electric vehicle demographic. So we'll see.
Are you mostly behind us bailing on the monorail?
Not if they'll put it to the airport. I'm not. If they would put it to the airport, I'm fine with it. Yeah. Like, I still think it serves a purpose. If they put it to the airport and to the stadium, great, solves a lot of problems. But the monorail is such a funny little public-private partnership that's developed. It's technically all privately owned, but it has been bailed out from time to time with public dollars. In the past, if you ask me, and I was not a part of any of these negotiations before my time as a public servant, but the only reason it didn't go to the airport was because of the taxi lobby. Well, that lobby has been crippled by Uber and Lyft, so they don't have the power and influence that they used to have. So maybe there would be some appetite for that to get it out to the airport. I think if they did, it would be really, really, really useful. The passenger rates would go through the roof.
Justin, give us 5 more minutes, okay? If you sit tight, we're going to come back. I want to get into the developing story in the NFL with some teams with very, very low vaccination rates. And we had a player come out today who said, you know what, I want questions answered, but don't bring someone in to answer my questions. I need to know more, but I kind of really don't want to know more.
Call Battle Born Injury Lawyers, 702-570-9000.